Hello, Patriots. I'm Lee Watts, and this is Patriot Point, your source for Kentucky news and analysis from a conservative, Christian, and common sense point of view. Well, once again, Kentucky's policies and politics are going to be influencing the entire nation. Been watching the news the last few days, you will know that the Speaker of the House of Representatives up there in D.C., Representative Kevin McCarthy, has been ousted. The party has voted him out of that leadership position. So we are seeing right now a showdown between the more conservative Trump, America First candidates versus the establishment rhino Republicans trying to take over this leadership position. Now, of course, we have Mitch McConnell, who is the poster boy for the establishment. I mean, he has been in the Senate for nearly 40 years. I mean, 4 decades of this career having this position. If there was also ever a poster boy for the reason we should have term limits, you should put his picture by that. Now, of course, McConnell would be the one who would want to get a lot of support and momentum against putting an establishment person in position as the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. We have the conservatives pushing for their kind of a person, more of an America First, MAGA, Trump kind of person. So this is going to be a big test. Mitch McConnell, as it has been shown in the last 2 or 3 months, has some major health problems. And it's been reported that he's just sitting blankly in committee meetings as if he's not processing what's going on. So this is a test. Does Mitch McConnell still have the capability physically and mentally to rally his troops to put an establishment person in this position? Or is this a major opportunity for the Trump supporters, America First, MAGA type movement to put a true conservative as the Speaker of the House? Now, talking about Trump policies and those being kind of tested, and Trump's strength and supporters are right now being tested against the Republican establishment right now. And that brings up an important thing for us to consider here in Kentucky. During the last 2 presidential cycles on election night, Kentucky was the very first state that was called for President Trump. I think he won by 20% or more, which is just a huge, massive margin of victory. So I find it very odd then that Kentuckians would then also at the same time do the exact opposite and vote for Beshear, who is against everything Trump is for. So I'm putting out a statewide manhunt for a missing person. If anyone can tell me, please, where is this voter supposedly that is going to vote for Trump and all of these extremely conservative right-wing things, and then turn around at the same time vote for Beshear, who is doing the exact opposite of all those things? So, I'm putting out a statewide manhunt. If anybody can find a voter like this who's going to vote Trump, Trump is, again, very America First, and you've got the Bidens and Beshears that are putting all the illegal invaders in here. Notice I didn't say the word immigrants. I have no problem with immigration. I have a major problem with invasion, and that's the thing we've got going on. So why in the world somebody would say, I'm going to vote Trump? Trump's known for being pro-wall. I mean, that was one of his major things. And Kentucky would vote for that overwhelmingly. And then supposedly this same voter would go around and vote for Beshear, who is against that. You have Trump, who is very pro-Second Amendment, very gun rights. Why would this exact same person then vote for Beshear, who is very anti-gun and wants to disarm the people? You have President Trump, who is very pro-life, defending the life of the unborn. And then the same person supposedly would turn around and vote for Beshear, who has supported policies not only for abortion, but Beshear is supporting policies for abortion up to and including the 9th month. Beshear had even vetoed a bill. The state legislature passed a bill that would say if some doctor tried to commit an abortion, but the baby survived anyway and is born, then this would require the doctor to actually give this baby, now on its own, it would require to give the baby medical care instead of letting this newborn just sit there and die because no one cared for it. Andy Beshear vetoed that. He wants the baby to lay there, no one take care of it, and let it starve to death, bleed to death, whatever. Bashir vetoed a bill to stop that. So why in the world somebody would say, I'm going to vote for Trump? Kentucky overwhelmingly is going to vote for all these conservative policies of Trump, and then at the same time turn around and supposedly vote for a governor who is against every single thing that Trump stands for. Those two things do not add up. I'm Lee Watts, and I support that message. So when it comes time to vote here, we got about 1 month to go before Election Day. I think again, I would advise Attorney General Cameron, candidate Cameron, he should look at the camera and ask the people of Kentucky the exact same question that Ronald Reagan asked the people of America when he was running against Jimmy Carter. And here's the question that he asked.
Next Tuesday, all of you will go to the polls, will stand there in the polling place and make a decision. I think when you make that decision, it might be well if you would ask yourself, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Is it easier for you to go and buy things in the stores than it was 4 years ago? Is there more or less unemployment in the country than there was 4 years ago? Is America as respected throughout the world as it was? Do you feel that our security is as safe, that we're as strong as we were 4 years ago? And if you answer all of those questions yes, why then I think your choice is very obvious as to who you'll vote for. If you don't agree, if you don't think that this course that we've been on for the last 4 years is what you would like to see us follow for the next 4, then I could suggest another choice that you have.
President Reagan put it in a perfect way. That's why he's called the great communicator. He asked America, under Carter, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And America overwhelmingly said, we are not better under that Democrat and Democrat policies. And they voted a conservative, Ronald Reagan, to take office. So I'm asking the same question to all of Kentuckians. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Is the economy doing better? Is your mortgage doing better? Is your insurance prices better? Are your food costs better? Is Kentucky better after 4 years of Bashir? Or is everything gone south? And I think the answer to that is very, very clear. We now have less people working in Kentucky than were working on the day that Andy Bashir took office. As far as people who, if he's actually added to the workforce, that is a grand total of 0. He comes out and says he's created jobs. Putting everybody out of work is not creating jobs. And there are now less people working in Kentucky than the day that Andy Bashir took office. If you have moved or for any other reason need to re-register to vote, or maybe you've never registered to begin with, you may register to vote in the upcoming election up until 4 o'clock on October the 10th. So that is coming up very shortly. If you need to re-register or register the first time to vote in the upcoming governor election, this must be done no later than October the 10th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I hope you'll go out there and vote. And a little message I want to send out now to the Kentucky State Legislature. We're all the time saying we want to increase the voter participation. And this is how we can do this. Right now, under Kentucky law, we have elections 3 out of every 4 years. And it really leads to a lot of election and voting fatigue amongst we the people. As soon as you take one person's sign out of your yard, it's immediately time to put somebody else's there. 3 out of 4 years, and we're getting voter election fatigue. If the state legislature were to move one of the election cycles over 1 year, make the term shorter 1 year or extend them by 1 year for one time, where we would only have elections every other year, I firmly believe we would see an increase in voter participation, and it would save tens of millions of dollars over the next few years instead of having to run an election 3 out of 4 years in a row. I think it'd be better for the state economy, and it'd be better for the democratic process. So I hope that they'll take that into account. And before we sign off again, if you've seen this person who will vote for Trump and then turn around and vote for Bashir, please let somebody know, because I've never met such a person. And yet supposedly all kinds of these people exist. Amazing that I can't seem to find them. Well, until next week, I'm Lee Watts for Patriot Point, reminding you that liberty is not a spectator sport.